Studio did not become Third Eye Studio until 1999. The number, another song, no, 1999. And prior to that, I was, wow. I was with a group of Russian gangsters who had something, you know, like big as this whole place. And they were doing commercials and all their gangsterism. Russian gangsters are different than regular gangsters, just trust me. They're not like the Italians or the blacks. Russian gangsters are gangsters. Gangsters. So I had their studio, and right above us was the Wu-Tang Clan. So we had one floor, the Wu-Tang had another. So try to think about that dynamic, okay? Ernie on one floor, and Method Man, and RZA, and Jizza, and Slizza, and Gizza, all, you know. Raekwon.
Who are some of the folks that stopped by your studio? And why did you name it Third Eye Studio?
It's obvious why I named it Third Eye Studio. And because the camera was my third eye, but the camera also was influenced by my third eye. The third eye is supposed to be the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's supposed to be the power. It's supposed to, what gives you or gives those of us who have that sight, knowing who's strong, who's powerful, who's what. And we all have the third eye. You have to open that third eye. And that's how you become legendary, by opening that third eye. I don't care. Bob Marley opened it. Gil Scott-Heron opened it. John Coltrane. You know, there were a million alto sax and tenor sax, but Coltrane opened his. You know, there's just certain people that open it up. And, you know, you had the Beatles. John Lennon opened his. There are those people who open that third eye, man. And a lot of you think you can do it through mysticism or drugs or psychedelic this or that. No. It's about every minute Zen. It's about loving life every second, every minute, every hour, and internalizing the pain, the joy, and the fear of life itself. That's how you open it up. And some people, it takes many lifetimes. I know you all know some babies that are born and you look at them and you're like, whoa. They're already old. You know. Don't take my look at them, you know, whoa. Okay, and there's some people, you know, that are old that still look young, and you're like, whoa. So, what was a good word? Not W-O-E, W-H-O-A, okay. Sorry.
Who shot you?
Who shot you? I did.
$9, yeah. Is that correct?
I don't know how many books I have now, because I did 5 books in the last year that you've not seen.
Oh, wow.
And I wish I had brought, I even did one on Newark Avenue, which is the Desi area of people on Navratri. And
wow.
I made, I don't know how many books I have, but I did a book called Sisters, but I only made 1 copy of it because there are about 100 people in the book, 110 people, and I did not allow one man to be in the book, even in the background. It's called Sisters. She's dropping her camera. It's called Sisters, and it's probably my most cosmic book. And I did another book called The Lifetime Retrospective. I did a book called Portfolio, but these are books I only made 1 copy of, but they're powerful books. And I'm not going to release them because I can't go through that tap dance with the publishing houses. I can't go through that tap dance of trying to sell a book a week. You know, I got several books on lulu.com, which are dope. I did a book on graffiti, they call it graffiti. I have a book on collage, man, that I did from 1967 to 1974 called A Series of Dreams that I did while I was in the military. Think about that. And that's some, how many people have seen A Series of Dreams?
Some bits and pieces. I haven't seen the whole thing.
You have to see that, you know, I'm not trying to hype or sell books or anything, but A Series of Dreams is on some other level. 1967 to 1974. And ironically, 1974 is the year that Ben Barter and everybody, you know, claimed that hip hop started. So it's pretty profound. And while other people were shooting dope and, you know, doing their craziness in the military. I was working on that. And it's a profound visual journal.
So Kevin Powell hit you up about this.
Kevin Powell asked me why I did not, well, let's go back a little bit. Kevin Powell was asked to be the curator of an event called Roots, Rhymes, and Rage. And he was very angry, even though he didn't know me, that my work was not in there. And he asked them, why is my work in there, not in there? They, well, Ernie's too political, or Ernie's too this, or... He said, no. He said, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to be the curator unless his work is featured in there. See, that's where you call, that's standing on your square. And I know a lot of us have said, oh, well, you know, it's okay. It's not okay. And the fact that I was excluded because I am who I am pissed him off. So he included me quite righteously, and we did a show at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And he asked me, he said, why have you not done a book? And I told him, because most writers are full, you know, they don't follow through. And I had tried with a couple of writers, but opened my door, my life, my energy, everything to them, but they didn't follow through, man. They didn't show the respect that was due, not for me, but for the project itself, for the magic, for the power of what's going on there, of the visual history of this magnificent art form. So Kevin Powell said, I'm going to do a book with you. And Kevin Powell made me 99 promises. Kevin Powell kept 99 promises. If you make a promise and form your lips to say something, keep that promise. Your life changes.
Integrity. You actually introduced us to Kevin Powell. He came down here and spoke to Toronto and opened everyone's eyes. I want to go into this conversation. I know you've spoken about Zulu Nation quite a bit. We got some Zulu Nation North members in the building. Much respect. Break down. You're at the highest level of this organization.
Actually, I'm at the lowest level.
The central level.
No. If you are a true Zulu, you're humble. So Bambaataa, I've known forever, and he's humble. He's humble. He just don't play that. He don't, you know, oh, I'm the great and powerful Oz. No. He understands that his power is in educating us and sharing and building. He understands he's in a leadership role, and he understands that we have Zulu chapters in, what, how many, 40 nations across the world? So he remains humble. And because he's a touchstone for us, he is the living embodiment of our Dalai Lama. He's the living embodiment of humility, of talent, because he's a master DJ, but he's also a master leader. And I have in my pocket, on my camera, on my smartphone, lectures of him that he did recently. And if you think that you know hip-hop, and if you think that you know Bambaataa, you don't know Africa Bambaataa unless you spent time with Africa Bambaataa and understood the depth, not only of his knowledge, but his desire to gain more knowledge, and more importantly than gaining knowledge is the desire to share that knowledge. He was the first one to make us understand. You see this brother here? If he was a painter, I'm a painter, we might be bumping heads and harming each other. And Bam said, no, you so good, let's see you battle, but not with weapons, with your art. So this guy might come and whip my butt. Just, you know, his stuff is so fantastic. So that year I would try, I would work, I would strive, I would learn, and next year I would whip him. The year after he'd come back. And both of us end up sharper, and neither of us end up hurt, and we become brothers because of that. That's what he did. That was simple, direct, and powerful. Zulu.